Amber Heard, you must pay. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to educate you about narcissism. The judge of Johnny Depp's defamation trial has handed a written order for Amber Heard to pay her former husband $10.35 million, £8.43 million. Judge Penny Ascarate carried out the formality after the jury announced its verdict on June the 1st. The judge also ordered Depp to pay her $2 million, the jury's award on her counterclaim that Heard was defamed by one of Depp's lawyers. Depp posted a message on TikTok to his fans after his court victory. To all of my most treasured, loyal, and unwavering supporters, we've been everywhere together. We have seen everything together. We have walked the same road together. We did the right thing together, all because you cared. And now we will all move forward together. Responding to Depp's TikTok, a spokesman for Heard issued a statement saying, "As Johnny Depp says he's moving forward, women's rights are moving backward." The verdict's message to victims of domestic violence is, be afraid to stand up and speak out. Following the verdict, Heard added, "The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence and sway of my ex-husband. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the United Kingdom. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly." In 2018, Heard wrote an article for the Washington Post in which she said, 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Though not mentioning him by name, lawyers for Depp claimed that these 11 words defamed him and sought $50 million in damages. Heard has said she plans to appeal the verdict. So formally, it's been declared that Amber Heard must make this payment, and she has maintained, of course, that she's not able to do so. What do you do when you're dealing with a narcissist that owes you money? What do you do with the narcissist who perhaps has failed to repay money that you've lent to them, or has failed to pay for a service or product that you've provided to them? What about if you're dealing with a narcissist who has failed to pay spousal maintenance or child support? When it comes to money, money is a residual benefit to the narcissist, but of course, it segues into other areas of the prime aims. Money allows us to draw fuel and control people. For instance, by being generous with it, and certain narcissists exhibit considerable financial largesse. Spraying money left, right and centre, seemingly being generous, but of course, as ever, it's driven by the need for the prime aims, controlling people through such apparent generosity and also through gaining fuel by their response, their thanks, their gratitude, whether it's lending people money, giving them money, or paying for things for them. Certain narcissists will do this. Other narcissists, of course, are as tight as a gnat's chuff, not wanting to spend money, even though they may be very well off. And of course, many narcissists take money from other people, either stealing it or borrowing it, sometimes spewing a load of sob stories and pity plays in order to receive that financial assistance from other people. They then fail to make repayment or are slow in that repayment. In other instances, they are told that they have to make spousal payments, child support payments, but do not do so. Why is this? Well, of course, there is an absence of emotional empathy. The narcissist is incapable of exhibiting emotional empathy for another person by way of considering how they feel and the fact that they haven't received their money back, or that they're not receiving money that they need, for instance, to pay for things for children or to pay for their house, etc. There's a sense of entitlement. This money belongs to me. It's my asset, not yours. Even though there is an agreement to make repayment, that doesn't matter, because the narcissism determines that this asset must be preserved and protected. The absence of accountability also means that the narcissist will dodge making repayment. Thus, the narcissism, through lack of emotional empathy, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of accountability, causes the narcissist to fail to make repayment or to make payments, and therefore causes frustration, annoyance, and considerable difficulties for individuals who are relying on the payment or repayment of those monies. The narcissist does not feel sorry for those individuals, despite what might be said. And there will be prevarication, future faking. I'll pay you when my bonus comes in. It's been a bit of a difficult month for me, so can I pay you next month? And so on and so forth. Deflection, excuses, triangulation. Money is a residual benefit to the narcissist, and an important one. But moreover, it allows the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel, whether it is from that financial largesse, whether it's from not spending money when it's expected that that would happen, perhaps by spending and then stopping spending, and then, of course, by failing to make good repayments or payments that the narcissist is obligated to do. So, in those circumstances, money is something which is a problem. Of course, for her, she's obligated to make payment. A court has told her to. But she is unlikely to do so. Why? Because she doesn't believe that she's done anything wrong. Her narcissism keeps telling her that. And indeed, the language that she used immediately following her defeat when the jury made its decision in terms of finding that she was culpable to Depp and for the amounts that she was found culpable to pay, she expressed disappointment, being heartbroken, and in essence talked about how she'd been denied her rights. Of course, maintaining that she was exercising her right to freedom of speech, she's latterly exhibited her hypocrisy by attacking those that have felt free to comment upon her own behaviour. Her hypocrisy is writ large in that regard. She claims that she can't make repayment. That may well be true, and therefore she is utilising the truth for the purposes of the assertion of control by ways of pity play and withdrawal from debt in terms of not paying. But notice also that the recent court order confirming the jury's verdict, and meaning that there is an order now to be enforced against Heard should Depp go down that route, has again meant that he has come upon her radar, and has demonstrated, as I've explained previously, why she won't let it go. He, of course, makes an announcement to his followers, exhibiting some grandiosity and the narcissistic trait of showcasing, something which is commensurate, of course, with his status as a narcissistic, but not narcissist, individual. The fact that that appears on TikTok means that he's come up on Heard's radar. Either she still follows him on TikTok, or it's been brought to her attention by somebody in the coterie. Either way, exhibiting the narcissistic behaviours still, as we'd expect, as soon as he comes up on the radar, it threatens her sense of control. Her narcissism, of course, could cause her to contact Depp direct. Why are you bragging about your success after everything that you've done to me? You should do the decent thing and let me off the money. But her narcissism is not directed to take that course, potentially anticipating that she would be rebuffed. Instead, it's caused her to assert control indirectly. Rather than just stay silent, she can't help herself, but instructs a spokesperson who states, as Johnny Depp says he's moving forward, women's rights are moving backward. The verdict's message to victims of domestic violence is, be afraid to stand up and speak out. She has to do this because her narcissism will not allow her to cause the threat to control to go unaddressed. She could, of course, remain silent and assert control by withdrawal, but remember, this isn't a conscious decision on her part. As an unaware narcissist, she does not think to herself, I'll hoover Johnny in order to assert control and draw fuel from him, or I'll smear him in order to indirectly assert control over him, or I'll just sit and ignore him, jettisoning him from my mind in order to assert control over him that way. No, that doesn't happen. Instead, her narcissism leads her unconsciously to cause her spokesperson to issue that statement, and of course remains playing the victim. Notwithstanding the fact that a jury has found against her overall, notwithstanding the fact that the jury has found that she must pay money to Depp, and that this has been confirmed by the judge, she still does not make payment. That may well be a case of inability rather than simply not wanting to. But moreover, she, of course, is demeaning the jury by not accepting what they've said. Instead, she maintains by saying, the verdict message is, to victims of domestic violence is be afraid to stand up and speak out. Her victim mentality continues, and this is an indirect assertion of control to deflect from her own obligations to make payment by maintaining that the decision was wrong. And of course, as a reaction to Depp's TikTok, she cannot help herself. He comes up on the radar, she is forced to react by her narcissism. She's been told she'll have to pay. She says that she'll appeal, but of course she's going to have to put in place funds with a rate of interest running on them also, and it's questionable whether she will do that. Of course, as a narcissist, there's little to stop her trying to seek out somebody else and laying on the flattery, perhaps some spicy poontang, to compel them to come to her rescue. It might be a case of seeing if the Rocket Man will assist, or seeing if there's somebody else that will put up the money for her so that she can continue her crusade. Remember, she does not sit there thinking, well, that's it, I've lost, the jury found against me based upon the evidence. No, she will not let it go, because her narcissism will not let it go. As I've explained before, this saga has time yet to run and continues to demonstrate her narcissistic behaviours, both in terms of the sense of entitlement by not making payment and allowing me an opportunity to explain to you how narcissists generally regard money with regard to the prime aims and the failure to make payment. If you're facing a narcissist that owes you money, there's a simple 3-step test that you need to apply. 1. Do you have a cause of action? Do you have the legal standing to bring the claim? For instance, is it a debt? Is it a breach of contract? Is there a tortious claim, etc.? A lawyer, of course, will advise you of that. 2. Do you have the evidence to prove on the balance of probabilities that you are owed this money? So, for instance, is there a contract that was written, that's clear, unambiguous, and has been breached? And you can show that you lent the money. And you can demonstrate that there's been no repayment. And you can demonstrate that there's been no agreement to vary the terms of the original agreement. Therefore, your claim is likely to succeed. Thirdly, your opponent, the narcissist, must be in a position to pay. You can't get blood out of a stone. Certain narcissists are entirely impecunious, and there's no point throwing good money after bad. But if you're able to have a cause of action against the narcissist, and you can prove your case, and you know the narcissist has money by way of income that might be garnished, or, for instance, certain assets that could be acquired and a charge raised against them and sale forced, then you should proceed. Don't waste your time pleading, persuading, or threatening the narcissist in order to get repayment. Those are completely fruitless options. All you'll be doing is giving the narcissist fuel, suffering an adverse consequence by being disappointed because you've not been paid, and possibly suffering other consequences of being threatened, shouted at, even physically abused, provoking the risk of greater hoovers, and, of course, increasing your own emotional thinking. Instead, you could make one request of the individual to make repayment, and serendipity might dictate, if it serves the narcissist's aims, and sometimes it does, that they make repayment. But if it's not forthcoming, don't keep haranguing the narcissist, saying, where's my money, where's my money, the kids running around with their asses hanging out, and you should pay the child support. You're wasting your time. Go and see a lawyer, get it back into court if there's already an existing court order for payment and have it enforced. If not, bring a claim, proceed with it with due diligence against the narcissist, get a judgment and enforce it. No shilly-shallying, no delaying. Where you have the claim and you have the evidence, and often you will because the evidence is created by the narcissist's own failures, give them enough rope, see that video, and you know that they have the money to pay, use the law to bring that payment to bear. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.